I remember the first time I heard about 3I/Atlas, not from a textbook or a professor, but from a crackling late-night NASA livestream. It was like hearing the universe whisper a secret I wasn't sure I was ready to understand. Here on Earth, we stare up at the night sky as if it's a painting, serene, distant, predictable. But every so often the cosmos throws something at us that makes that calm sky feel alive. 3I/Atlas was one of those cosmic surprises. We had only seen 2 confirmed interstellar objects before, Oumuamua, that mysterious cigar-shaped wanderer, and Comet Borisov, icy and luminous. But 3I/Atlas was different. It wasn't just a passing anomaly tracked fleetingly in data. It was heading, inexplicably, toward a close encounter with Mars. That's right. Not Earth. Not some random point in deep space, but our neighboring world, the red planet we've obsessed over for decades. As I watched the trajectory curves and numbers displayed on the screen, I felt a chill, the kind that tells you something monumental is unfolding. The James Webb Space Telescope, the most powerful space observatory ever built, had been trained on Mars for other science objectives, atmospheric studies, seasonal changes, searches for water ice. But when the opportunity arose to capture 3I/Atlas during its flyby, scientists made a bold decision. They repurposed Webb's incredible infrared cameras, usually focused on looking back in time at the earliest galaxies, to record something right here, right now, in our own celestial backyard. This was not just astronomy, this was cosmic diplomacy. I watched as the first raw Webb images appeared on the monitors. A streak of light against the familiar rust-colored disk of Mars, tiny yet resolute. Time seemed to slow. There was something almost poetic about it. A visitor from another star system passing within the grasp of our robotic explorers. It felt like the universe acknowledging our presence, like a traveler stopping to glance at a distant town on a lonely road. But these weren't just pretty images. Webb's infrared eyes can reveal more than visible light ever could. Scientists hoped to capture data on the composition of 3I/Atlas, clues to its origin, and the secrets locked in its dusty, icy heart. Infrared wavelengths can show heat signatures, chemical fingerprints, and even subtle differences in surface materials. When you hear that Webb could detect molecules on a comet's surface from millions of kilometers away, it doesn't just sound impressive, it feels like magic. Yet, in that moment, watching those first frames fill the screen, it wasn't just about science. It was about connection. This object began its journey long before Earth existed, possibly in a distant star system where alien suns rose and set in alien skies. And now, here it was whispering past Mars, offering us a fleeting glimpse of something utterly foreign. I felt awe but also humility. The universe is vast beyond measure, and our pale blue it spins on, almost unaware of these cosmic wanderers slipping through our neighborhood. What struck me next was how Webb's data began to change our perception of Mars itself. In the infrared, the red planet wasn't just red. It was textured, dynamic, alive in ways visible light couldn't capture. Webb revealed frost and haze, atmospheric waves and seasonal patterns, all dancing around that cold, distant rock. And against that vibrant backdrop, 3I/Atlas appeared like a ghostly visitor, an interstellar ribbon weaving through a planetary tapestry still rich with mysteries. Researchers around the world held their breath as the images flowed in. Every frame was scrutinized, every pixel analyzed. What was this object made of? Did it carry complex organic molecules? Could its structure tell us anything about the environment it once came from? The implications were staggering. If Webb could read the chemical signature of this object, maybe, just maybe, we could learn something about planetary formation outside our own system. We might be peering into the building blocks of other worlds, sent to us by chance. I remember the lead scientist's voice breaking just slightly during a press briefing, a rare moment of emotion in the usually calm world of astrophysics. She said, "We're standing at the edge of a new chapter in space exploration." And she was right. This wasn't just another comet flyby or routine observation. This was humanity's first clear view of an interstellar traveler so close to a planet that could someday harbor human explorers. It was a reminder that we are no longer passive observers of the cosmos. With tools like Webb, we are participants. We are gathering the stories that the universe has been waiting to tell. As the hours passed, Webb continued to track 3I/Atlas, its instruments gathering more data than any telescope before it could hope to. And with every image, I felt more connected to the vastness beyond our sky. The cosmos is not cold or distant. It's a network of motions and moments, of encounters and revelations, and we are right in the middle of it. When Webb captured that interstellar visitor at Mars, it wasn't just a scientific triumph. It was a moment of cosmic storytelling, a chapter in the grand narrative of existence. I sat back in my chair as the final data streamed in. The room was silent except for the hum of computers. And in that silence, I felt the universe breathe. I didn't sleep much after those first images were released. My mind kept replaying that moment. An interstellar object, older than our sun, gliding past Mars while a human-made telescope watched from 1,000,000 miles away. It felt unreal, like standing between two eras of existence. One foot planted in humanity's fragile present, the other brushing against a past that predates Earth itself. And as more data from James Webb poured in, that feeling only deepened. What most people don't realize is how delicate this observation really was. Space is not a controlled laboratory. 3I/Atlas was moving fast, tens of thousands of kilometers per hour, and Mars itself was in motion, wrapped in its thin atmosphere, dust storms swirling unpredictably across its surface. Webb had to time everything perfectly. One miscalculation, one delay, and the moment would have slipped away forever. Watching the mission unfold felt like holding my breath alongside the engineers and scientists who had spent their lives preparing for moments exactly like this. As Webb's infrared instruments locked onto the target, something extraordinary began to emerge. The heat signature of 3I/Atlas was faint but distinct, like a heartbeat barely audible through the noise of space. That signature told a story not just of temperature, but of composition. Ice, dust, and minerals began to separate themselves in the data, each leaving behind a spectral fingerprint. This wasn't just a wandering rock. This was a relic, preserved in the deep freeze of interstellar space, carrying clues from a place we may never physically reach. I remember staring at a color-coded spectral chart as one scientist explained it in hushed tones. Those peaks and dips weren't random. They hinted at frozen water, carbon-based compounds, and possibly more complex molecules. The same raw ingredients that helped shape planets, atmospheres, and maybe even life itself. In that moment, the distance between us and out there felt smaller than ever. If these materials are common beyond our solar system, then the universe may be far more familiar than we ever imagined. Meanwhile, Mars played its own quiet role in this cosmic meeting. Webb's view revealed temperature gradients across the Martian surface, cold polar regions, warmer equatorial zones, subtle atmospheric layers shimmering in infrared light. It was as if Mars was briefly illuminated for an interstellar audience. A planet we've sent rovers to, dreamed of colonizing, argued about endlessly, now sharing a frame with a visitor from another star. That image alone felt historic. Two worlds, one ancient and lifeless, the other ancient and unknown, crossing paths under Webb's unblinking eye. What struck me most was how small the window of opportunity really was. 3I/Atlas would never return. Its path through our solar system was a one-time event, a cosmic coincidence measured in hours and days against a journey lasting billions of years. The fact that humanity existed at this precise moment, with the technology to witness it, felt staggering. I kept thinking about all the civilizations that might have risen and fallen across the universe, never knowing these encounters were even possible. As scientists refined the images, sharper details emerged. The object's coma, the cloud of material surrounding it, appeared asymmetrical, shaped by solar radiation it had likely never encountered before entering our system. Imagine that. A body formed under a different star, suddenly exposed to the light of our sun, reacting in real time. It was like watching a traveler blink in surprise upon stepping into a foreign city. That reaction alone could teach us how different stellar environments sculpt the objects born within them. There was also a deeper implication that lingered beneath every briefing and analysis. If interstellar objects like 3I/Atlas can pass this close to planets, how often has this happened before? How often has material from other star systems brushed past Earth, Mars, or Venus unseen and unrecorded? Could some of the ingredients that shaped our own planet have arrived this way? The idea sent a quiet shiver through me. The universe may not be as isolated as we once believed. It may be constantly exchanging pieces of itself. As night fell and the last scheduled observations concluded, Webb turned its gaze elsewhere, back toward distant galaxies and dying stars. The encounter was over. Yet the data would be studied for years, maybe decades. Papers would be written, debates would ignite, theories would evolve. But that first moment, that first sight of 3I/Atlas near Mars, would remain unmatched. It was a reminder that exploration isn't always about going somewhere new. Sometimes, it's about being ready when something extraordinary comes to us. I leaned back, exhaustion finally catching up, and felt something rare. Gratitude. Gratitude for the engineers who built Webb, for the scientists who dared to repurpose it, and for the universe itself, which still surprises us when we least expect it. This was only the beginning. If this is what we can see now, I can't help but wonder what the next interstellar visitor will reveal. And somewhere beyond Mars, beyond the sun's fading influence, 3I/Atlas continued on its silent journey, carrying with it the knowledge that, for a brief moment, it was seen.